children. I am back again with another video. Okay, so I want to talk about the movie Carmen, a hip opera. It's the remake of the 1954 version, Carmen Jones, that starred Dorothy Dandridge and Harry Belafonte, which I did see a long time ago. I did watch the 1954 version. One day it did come on the TCM, the Turner Classic Movies channel, and I had a chance to watch it. But just recently, I've been in a mood to watch Carmen, the hip opera version, the updated version with Beyonce and Mekhi Phifer. It's the 2001 version, and I've seen it before. I've seen it when I was a little girl, and I remember when I first saw it, when I was like in my teenage years. You know what? I can't even remember how old I was, but it was somewhere around that time, probably when I was in middle school or something. Well, it came out when I was in elementary, but I probably didn't see it until I was like maybe 12 or 13 years old. But anyway, I remember seeing it when I was a little girl, and then during the time I had just got on the internet. My mom, she didn't allow me on the internet until I was maybe like 14 or 15 years old. And I remember seeing the movie for the very first time, and they had a scene on there where she used tarot cards to look into the future, and I got curious about that after watching that movie. Even after watching The Craft, the movie The Craft, I got interested in researching tarot cards, despite the fact that I was warned that in the Bible they speak against it. I did go online and I did research it when I was younger, because you know, when you're a teenager, you end up becoming the curious cat or the curious George, and you just be so curious about things. And I remember my mom warning me. She was like, be careful what you feed your mind into, be careful what you research online. I remember her telling me that. Well, I didn't dig deep into it. I didn't get so into tarot reading. I just looked it up and read about it, and that was it. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But back to the movie Carmen, a hip opera. It starts off with Carmen. She walks up into the bar and she ends up seducing this man. Excuse me, I forgot all the characters' names. Officer Hill. She ends up seducing him, and he tries to play hard to get at first, but eventually she wins him over due to her beauty and her sex appeal. She ends up winning him over, and they end up falling. Well, I feel like he was more in love with her than she was with him, but yeah, but really they end up falling in love with each other. And so What it is that Carmen, she's got this dream to become an actress, and she wants to move to California, but she allows her love for Officer Hill to put things on hold, put her dreams on hold. And it wasn't until she went and did a tarot card reading with her friends, and the fortune teller warned her that whatever goal she has set in mind, she might want to go ahead and hurry up and achieve it, because she doesn't have long to live. She ended up getting, when he flipped the card, it ended up saying death on it. Well, first it said ruined, then it said sorrow, and then it said death. There were 3 cards that was chosen out the stack, and those were the 3 cards that evidently came. But anyway, Carmen, she got hysterical. She almost had a panic attack, and from then on, her whole aura had changed. She began to stray farther away from Officer Hill, and she began to realize that, hey, life is too short to be wasting it on love. I'm gonna go ahead and pack up my things and make it to California. Well, really, they were already in California, but because he did eventually decide, hey, we're gonna move to California. But anyway, she packs up her bag and she ends up leaving him, and she goes, and she's in LA, and she decides to get with this rapper Blaze, because he's gonna make things happen for her. He's gonna help her make her dreams come true, because he knows people. He's famous himself, and he knows people. And so she ends up getting with him, and then Officer Hill sees her on TV with rapper Blaze, and he gets jealous. He gets mad, he gets angry, and because everything is going so good for her, but things are not going so good for him, because he ended up getting a bad rep due to the fact that his lieutenant had set him up for failure. He set him up for failure, and so Officer Hill, he doesn't have a good relationship with his lieutenant, and one day his lieutenant said some really, really harsh words to him about Carmen, and he called Carmen a hoe. That's what he did. He called her a hoe, and Officer Hill got really angry, and he punched his lieutenant in the face, and that was the last straw for the lieutenant. That made the lieutenant want to seek revenge on him, because the lieutenant, he's crazy. He's all about power and controlling people, and he's a narcissist. And if you stand up for yourself, or if you make any one wrong move, whether it's big or small, he's gonna get you. And that's what he tried to do to Officer Hill. When Officer Hill ran out of town along with Carmen to go to California, the lieutenant was looking everywhere for him. He even blackmailed his friend. He gave his friend $50,000. And who's gonna turn down that kind of money? His friend ended up selling his soul, selling him out, and letting the lieutenant know where he's at. So the lieutenant comes there for revenge. And while the lieutenant is making his way to California, um Officer Hill, things are not going well between him and Carmen, because Carmen decided to up and leave and make her dreams come true, because she's been told in her fortune that she doesn't have long to live. And so when he sees her on TV with rapper Blaze, he gets jealous and gets really hysterical. He said, I can't live without her. Like, I need her. She is the air that I breathe. He put too much into her, and to the point where it has caused him to be obsessed. He became obsessed with Carmen. It was like obsessive love, basically. And so he said that he was gonna go to the concert and he was gonna get Carmen. And so he ran to he went to the concert. He broke into there. He snuck into there because the security guard wasn't even paying him no attention. He snuck into there and he got to Carmen. And Carmen was telling him, let me go, but Officer Hill wouldn't let her go, because he was so obsessed with her. He couldn't imagine his life without her, and even if it meant ruining her dreams, he didn't care. He wanted her. He wanted her. He wanted her in his life. And while they were fussing and fighting, little did they know the lieutenant was up on the balcony watching them, and the lieutenant had a gun in his hand. And I told you the lieutenant was crazy. Like, you cross him, even if you're like defending yourself, he will come back at you for revenge. And that's what he did. He came back to Officer Hill for revenge. And I guess the plan was to kill Officer Hill, because Officer Hill knew something about the lieutenant that he wasn't supposed to know. The lieutenant was crooked too. He was doing some crooked things behind the scenes. He was buying drugs. He was buying cocaine behind closed doors. He's in a position to serve and protect as a police officer. And he was like a drug addict behind the scenes, and Officer Hill found out about it, and the lieutenant was afraid that he was gonna blow his cover. And so that's another reason why the lieutenant really wanted to kill him. It's more than just Officer Hill defending himself. It was also because Officer Hill knew something about him that he wasn't supposed to know. But anyway, he ended up killing. He took the gun and he ended up shooting Carmen twice in the back. And Carmen took her last few breaths, and her life was over. Her life was completely over. Any dream she had set into place, she wasn't able to accomplish it. And it's basically a life cut short, basically. Too young to die situation. We see this happen a lot. But I blame a lot of it on Officer Hill more so than the lieutenant, because had Officer Hill let her go achieve her dreams and didn't run after her, she would have still been alive. But he let his jealousy get in the way, and it ended up costing her life. And this is just an opening of another topic that I wanted to talk about. art imitating life is scary. Um, I know that this movie is based on a play from back in the early the early 20th century. But there's also some truth to this story, that it also happens in real life. And I can actually think of one situation that definitely is very similar to this situation. And I want to talk about this lady, this beautiful lady that I saw on the streaming service Tubi. Um, when I first got into this streaming service Tubi, I was watching a lot of black movies, a lot of what do you call them? A lot of independent black movies. And I saw this lady on there, and one day I decided to look up the characters of the movie. It's called Queen Pen, by the way. And I decided to look up the characters, and I found out that one of the actresses, the main actress of the movie, and I can't even remember the skit and everything. I'm just gonna focus on her. I'm not gonna talk about the movie, but one of the actresses on the movie, her name is Jokisha Brown, and her situation is very similar to Carmen Jones, in a way where, like, she was an actress. She was an aspiring actress. She was just getting her start in independent movies, and could have become bigger had she lived longer. But unfortunately, her life was cut short. Um, sh- Jokisha Brown, she was shot multiple times a day before her 36th birthday. She don't even look 36. She looks 25. She looks very young for her age. But anyway, Jokisha, she had, here's the article. She had big dreams of making her way into the city's burgeoning entertainment business. Those that knew the Jacksonville native said that she was transitioning from a model and dancer to an actor. She had even created her own play last year. So she did a screenplay. In 2010, she starred in the movie Queen Pen, which is what she called herself. The mother of an 11-year-old son was in Atlanta. Having traveled 20 miles from her Duluth, Georgia home, was waiting in her black Mercedes SUV for her appointment outside a makeup studio. To add to her excitement, and one day she would turn 36 years old. That's when the shots rang out. Brown was shot multiple times through the passenger seat of the SUV. Some witnesses say he was a light-complected black female or Hispanic. We believe he came there to murder her. Miss Brown was shot multiple times because of the nature of the crime. We believe she was definitely an intended target. He noted that the gunman was just outside the makeup salon where Brown was gunned down at 24 hours earlier, wearing the same exact clothing. And eventually they ended up finding out that it was an ex-boyfriend of hers that did this. They said that friends knew her background, said that Jokisha had previously been in an abusive relationship, and even she even tried to escape a kidnapping attempt by jumping from a moving vehicle. And they further said that she went through a very, very hard time with this breakup. She steadily voiced it. She feared for her life that something might happen to her. They did find out who the guy was that did it. As they suspected that it was her ex-boyfriend named Alfredo Capate. He's a person of interest, and it's just very, very sad because this lady, she was on her way. She was on her way to becoming a star, just like Carmen Jones. She was on her way to becoming a star. And it's just so unfortunate because she could have very well went further in her life. She was already on the right track, and she was so young, and she was making her dreams come true. Dreams, I bet when she was in her 20s, I don't know how she was in her 20s, but I'm willing to bet you she was trying to do everything she could in her 30s to make up for what she didn't achieve in her 20s. Because she could have become an actress early on in her life. I mean, she was 35 years old when she was killed. But she could have started her acting career at the age of 22. I don't know much about her life. Well, I don't really know anything about her life. But she could have started early on. But the fact that she didn't give up, even at the age of 35, is very inspiring. It's never too late to achieve your dreams. I don't care how old you are. It's never too late. Some people be like, well, if you don't do it by this age, then you might as well give up. But no, don't give up. Keep working on your goal, working on achieving your goal. There are people in their mid-30s working on their college degrees. There are people who just started owning their own business at the age of 40. Not everything has to happen by the age of 25. You know, so like, don't ever give up on your dream just because you reached a certain age. If you put your mind to it and you put a lot of effort into achieving your dreams, then your dreams will eventually come true. And another sad thing about this girl is just recently she her brother, she created a GoFundMe for funeral expenses for the death of her brother. Her brother was killed that same year, I think, that she got killed. He was killed, and she was just grieving over that, and to have to go through worrying about her abuser coming after her. That was just added stress and trauma. And you know, these abusers, they make it so hard on these victims. They don't have no sympathy whatsoever. Like, this girl, she just lost her brother, and you want to add more pain by causing her to fear for her life, kidnapping her and her having to escape you. Like, what kind of guy are you? Like, you're like, really, like, I just don't know what to say. Like, but it's definitely very similar to the movie Carmen, a hip opera. You got the aspiring actress who's on her way to the top, but then this boyfriend that doesn't want to see her make it. You know, he wants her in his life. All he can think about is himself. He's selfish. And he ends up costing her life, and her life is cut short because of his own selfishness. And that's not love, that's obsession. Obsession is you're thinking about what you want. You're not considering what that other person wants. You're fixated on them, like you got to have them in your life, or it's either hell or high water. Like, it's either the highway, it's either no way or the highway. And you got some men out there, and no, this is not a men bashing video, but I'm just saying, maybe I should just say, you have some men and women out there who don't take their partners into consideration, take what their partner want in their life into consideration. It's just all about them, and it's just really, really sad, you know. And not just relationships, but also friendships. You may have a friend that's jealous of you, and they end up setting you up. You're this big time star, like you're about to become a star. You just got your record deal, and you about to become a star. You just signed a 7-album record deal with a record label, and you're about to become a star. And then you got this friend, this person you've been friends with for so many years, and they get jealous of you, and they end up setting you up for failure, or setting you up for your life to be taken. And your life ends up becoming short. And I know a couple celebs in my mind that I can think of. The girl and her boyfriend that got shot up in God, I forgot her name. Her daughter is on here too. Lala Brown. Yeah, Lala Brown. Her and her boyfriend, they were in the record studio working on an album, and the murder is still unsolved to this day. Someone came in there and they shot and killed her and her boyfriend. And this girl, she sung on a track with Life Jennings, and she was on her way becoming a star, but her life was cut short due to jealousy. They said that there was a lot of jealousy going on in that town that they were in. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There was a lot of jealousy going on in that town, and she ended up losing her life at such a young age. She was 22 years old. No, she was 21 years old. 21 years old. Also, the murder of Chris Bender. His life was cut short as well. He died on the same year I was born, 1991. He died a week before I was born. He died on November 3rd. He was killed. He was sitting in his car, minding his own business. He had just signed with a record label and had an album out too, and was nothing but 19 years old and was getting his start. And he was sitting in the car with him and his brother, and there was these gangbangers that came shooting and shooting the car. They shot the car multiple times, and Chris Bender, he was protecting his brother, and he ended up getting shot up and killed and lost his life. But I'm just here to tell you, like, you got to be careful who you surround yourself with, because not everybody's your friend. And even love, like, if you're on your way to stardom, or if you're on your way to becoming something big, you better be sure if you better make sure that that person supports you. Like, they truly support you. If they can't support you, let them go. Let them go. Don't keep them lingering around, because it can lead to a lot of frustration and a lot of drama, and you don't want that. You really don't. And it's just unfortunate that stuff like that has happened to these three people. And art imitating life is scary. That's one of the scariest quotes in my opinion. Art imitating life is scary. Even the channel that I follow, Celebrity Underrated, can tell you about it. He's done videos on celebs who have lost their life in very suspicious ways. It's almost like a movie had foreshadowed their death. A movie that they played in had foreshadowed their death, or a song that they sung had foreshadowed their death. It's just a lot of strange things. Some deaths are very strange. But nobody's meant to live here forever. But it's like, well, dang, like, why is there just so much killing going on? Like, it's just really, really sad. It's really, really sad. But I pray for those people's families. I pray for them. And I pray that their heart be healed from the heartbreak. And that they'll be able to move past this. I pray that they'll be able to move past the hurt and the sorrow. They'll never be able to get over it. It's something when you lose someone so close to you, like, especially like that, like murder. It's hard. You're gonna need a lot of grief counseling, a lot of therapy to help you to be able to cope with that. And there's probably no amount of therapy that can help you, because it hurts. It really does. And I hate that I hate it I even think about Tupac sometimes and how hard he worked in his career, and at such a young age. Like, the amount that he put into his music career and acting career is like, as if some people 30, 40 years old, they don't even put that much into their career. And it's that fortune teller that was warning Carmen in the movie is right. Like, you don't have long to live. And even me as a young person, I'm realizing that. Like, I can't believe I'm 29 years old. I look in the mirror, I don't even look it. Everybody tell me, you like a teenager. You be 16. Like, it's just so weird that I'm almost 30 years old and I don't even feel like I lived that long. Like, I can remember my high school years as if it was like 3 years ago or something. Like, I can remember when I first started college as if it was yesterday. Like, it's just so unbelievable how time really flies. Like, when I was young, I really when I was younger, I really thought that it would take a long time for me to get to the age that I'm at. And now that I'm the age that I'm at, it's like I look back over my life and I'm just blown away at all that I've been through, and the people that have been in my life since the day I was born. Half of them are still here, half of them are gone. It's just so strange. It's so strange. And and I'm gonna end this video by saying, like, don't take anything for granted. Like, if you have a goal that you want to achieve, like, try your very best to achieve it. Like, do everything you can to make it happen, because tomorrow's not promised to anybody. I don't care how young you are. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone, and just stay uplifted and keep the faith, and be strong.